idea floated by Rahul Gandhi to rejuvenate the Congress party, American-style primaries to decide Lok Sabha candidates, and to kick it off, veteran leaders like Kapil Sibal and Krishna Tirath will have to fight to retain their seat. So quite a shake-up planned. On agenda tonight, will it be a hit reproduction of the American system, or will the Congress be bad copycats? We'll get a guess on that in just a bit. First, let's take a look at exactly what it entails.
He may be the all-powerful union minister and two-time MP from Delhi, but Kapil Sibal will now have to fight to be the Congress candidate from his seat. Chandni Chowk is among the 16 constituencies that have been chosen for Rahul Gandhi's pet project of conducting a primary to choose the candidate. The others include Northwest Delhi, from where Sibal's colleague Krishna Tirath has won twice. Mandsaur, from where Rahul Gandhi's trusted aide Meenakshi Natarajan is MP, but which has seen major infighting, and other urban seats like North Bangalore and North Kolkata. The move may lead to heartburn among the old-timers in the party, but Rahul Gandhi has pitched it as a bold experiment where party workers from the block and district level will elect their candidate.
इतने सारे लोगों को सम्मिलित कर सामूहिक रूप से एक कमरे में बिठाकर उनसे वोट डलवाना किसी पार्टी ने नहीं किया। मैं तो बल्कि इतना तक कह सकता हूं कि जो दिल्ली में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनी है, केजरीवाल साहब मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं, लेकिन किसको विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ाना अपनी पार्टी से इन्होंने पूछा किसी से नहीं।
Maybe, but many believe it is the Aam Aadmi Party which has spurred them towards the bold move. And for now, the reactions from the public are positive.
The new ideology about the party, finding the candidates, that's a very good option. I think we need something like this.
It will be better if the Karnataka youths or the workers with the parties, they choose the candidate for the parliament election.
The voting system is good because by being in Bangalore, you'll know what that person is doing than a person sitting in Delhi in the parliament.
An interesting experiment in democracy. The Congress primaries, much like the primaries that are held for an American presidential election. Here in Rajasthan, the Congress workers will elect their candidate, who will then go on to fight the Lok Sabha election in 2 seats.
So change has come for the party. The only question is it too late? With Harsha Kumari Singh and Sunetra Chaudhary, Vega Bakshi for NDTV.
So our pundits joining us, taking opposite points of view on that question is, we have C.R. Kesavan, spokesperson for the Congress party, joining us, and from the BJP we have Chandan Mitra joining us as well. And our first talking point, the primaries. Does an American system work in India? Well, C.R. Kesavan, does it?
Hello. Yeah, it definitely is going to work in India because primaries is basically a rights-based approach which devolves not only the responsibilities but also the rights to a Congress Karyakarta who is an Aam Karyakarta. Even if you take the record of the Congress party and the UPA, we followed a rights-based approach to legislation which has not only empowered citizens but also given them a legal entitlement in terms of, right to information, right to food, right to education, and right to rehabilitation when it comes to land acquisition. So it's a very logical corollary. And more importantly, I think this will have a twinfold impact, one on the Congress party and one on India's democracy. When you take the impact of this primaries in this party, I think it will definitely help in deepening democracy by making sure all the voices, right from the block to the district level, are heard. And as far as devolving power, every person who is an office bearer, whether at the panchayat level or the block level, gets to choose who is the candidate. Nobody can be foisted from above. And so what this is going to ensure is capable candidates with good credentials and who are deserving. If you see how this impacts the country on a long-term scale, I think I'd like to make this point. See, basically, there is a lot of cynicism with the polity. When you talk about Indian politics, participatory democracy, though it's in name, people are disenchanted, people are disillusioned, and this was very clearly reflected in the recent Supreme Court's, none of the above initiative directive which was implemented with the Election Commission.
Well, you really marked out.
What is the problem here?
To talk about there. You've given us a lot of, and that's where I want to bring in Chandan Mitra. The Congress being very idealistic about this. Do you buy any of it, Chandan Mitra? As an MP, do you buy this?
Look, I don't want to throw out the idea or rubbish it at this stage. We haven't tried it. The Congress is trying something on an experimental basis. I think they can fine, they can go ahead. But I am very skeptical about whether this system can work in the absence of a structured party organization. In our country, the party organization is not really very structured. people join a party in large numbers but take no interest in the activities of the party thereafter. Parties in India are largely election machines. At election time they come together, and throughout the year after that there is hardly any activity. So how are you going to distinguish who will be allowed to vote, ordinary primary members or active members? There are a large number of things that have to be sorted out. And I also fear that once you have this system, people are going to spend lakhs and crores in order to influence voters in the primaries, and there will be one more round of subverting the electoral process through money power and muscle power.
No, answer that, Mr. Kesavan. Mr. Kesavan, do you want to answer those two? First of all, as Chandan Mitra is pointing in, who are the people who are going to vote in this? Is it just the members? Because in your website on that, you are saying they will be decided by criteria. We've only got 2 months left for Lok Sabha. You haven't sorted out what is the criteria for your primaries. How will this work? And how will it work with your party workers who haven't even heard of it? I was there. I was meeting some people in the constituency, and they didn't even know this was going to happen in their constituency.
Okay. First thing, Sunetra, there are 40 parties in the parliament which represent the people. None of them have taken this initiative. This is not new to the Congress party.
I understand.
Because if you see in the NSUI and the Youth Congress...
Please address these two specific questions, Mr. Kesavan.
It is very clearly delineated in the website what kind of office bearers can vote.
No,
and
it doesn't say that.
In the 15 constituencies,
it doesn't
it's
say
very
that.
clearly been...
It says,
it is very clearly.
If you see the will be decided
right
later.
from the... No. If you see the website, primaries inc.in, it very clearly says who are the voters, what can you vote for, and it's very clearly delineated whether it's former office bearers or present office bearers or sitting mayors or sitting AICC members or people who are in the frontal organizations. It's very clear. Second point, I want to talk about skepticism which Chandanji was mentioning, which I'll reiterate back to my previous point. See, the problem with the Indian polity is skepticism, because like George Bernard Shaw said, he jocularly said, politics is the last resort of the scoundrel, but in people in a lighter vein say the Indian public thinks it's the first resort.
Yes, but
so
the
what this
problem
is effectively going to
all
do
that
is...
you're bringing up here, Mr. Kesavan,
No, let me complete, please.
Okay.
No, I need to complete.
Okay.
Sunetra ji, I need to complete. See, what I'm saying is, what is going to happen here is, because of this system, like there is muscle power, nobody can deny that. There is the stronghold and the guardian not of vested interest. There is, certain sections which use influence. So what will happen is the people at the lower level, once they decide, these are the right candidates to be chosen, it will help. And I'll make one point here. Just give me 1 minute to finish this. See, if you see the nota which was implemented by the Election Commission, the Election Commission has tried its best, whether it is, open affidavits in terms of criminal antecedents or in terms of, your wealth. They've done everything, and, they've ensured good candidates come. But I think the problem with the Supreme Court mentioned was nota negative voting will ensure that there is onus on the political parties that they will reflect and respect the will of the people in choosing candidates who are good. So I think this effect will really help the Supreme Court's directive and the Election Commission's nota, which was implemented.
You're talking about the nota, you're comparing with the nota, but as we saw in the last election, it just didn't work. And so I want to bring up our second talking point and throw that to Chandan Mitra. What is the Congress doing when it, in our second talking point, we ask, what is it doing when it is getting rid of having a primary in seats which are occupied by veterans like Kapil Sibal? Do you think, what is the message, Chandan Mitra, that it sends out? That the Congress is shaky, that it doesn't have confidence in its own senior leaders?
Well, I think this will be resisted a great deal if the Congress party tries to implement it across the board. You are right, Sunetra, about veterans, about people who have won elections 5 times, 6 times in a row. And if they are told that you have to submit yourself to a choice of your block president and Mandal committee and so on and so forth, I think they are really going to use a slightly slang language, freak out. So, and it will be very, very difficult to actually conduct this kind of primary in a kind of systematic and structured manner. So, this is point number 1. Point number 2, Kesavanji was talking at great length of the idealism and so on and so forth. But I don't know if he's a student of history. I am. And I know the first instance of organized violence during elections happened in the year 1936-37, when the Congress in undivided India tried to hold elections to certain organizational posts. And the then Congress President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, wrote a stinging article at that point of time saying that, democracy has been made into a farce, a mockery. Congressmen are fighting congressmen. They are throwing stones and bricks at each other, and all kinds of things are being done. Obviously, this kind of internal organizational elections cannot really be held in India at the lower levels.
And so, we have people in Bombay who want to ask questions about this. Some of them are enthused by it. But before we just go to them, I just want you to, Mr. Kesavan, I just want you to explain the logic behind some of these choices. How did you choose? Why Chandni Chowk? Why Kapil Sibal seat? Why someone like Krishna Tirath seat? Is it because you think that, they're threatened now?
I think no. One point I want to make for what Chandanji said. I'm not a student of history, but I'm a keen learner of history, and we learn from history. What I want to say is, he mentioned about violence. We should very keenly reflect why violence happens and why people move away from the institutions of democracy.
Please talk about. Please talk about why Chandni Chowk, why Bangalore North, why Delhi Northwest, which has Krishna Tirath. Is it because you no longer think that they can win?
Not at all. I think they would have chosen it by a certain mechanism. Not at all. I think it probably reinforces the confidence in these leaders, and I think these are places where structures are in place where these elections can happen. And when you talk about bloc presidents,
how are you showing new people coming in? If you're opening up these seats, how are you showing new people coming in?
No. One important thing, Sunitra, which we have to keep in mind is here, when Chandanji also mentioned this, how will the fates of these people left to the block presidents or the panchayat presidents or the district presidents? One thing we should understand, as much as the top leaders, even more if I may, these are the people who are at the grassroots. These are the people who are in touch with the local public. These are the people who are, who connect a chord with the masses, who know their pulse. So I think it's very important that these people have a say, because their choice will reflect the choices of the people at large. So when you talk about disconnect between political parties and the public at large and the issues which concern them, this is going to address them.
By making it a primary, aren't you saying that this seat we want other people also to contest? Isn't that the basic message that you're sending?
Definitely. I think anybody who has the confidence, the support of the party at the grassroots level ought to contest. There is nothing wrong with that. I think that's democracy. That will ensure a level playing field.
Wants to ask a question. Why don't you address that? Gibran, go ahead.
Say if it's successful, so will you be able to implement it on a large scale in India? Because a country like India, where the population is so much, will you be able to implement it on a large scale?
Mr. Kesavan, do you have a roadmap?
Mr. Gibran, I think, we see, when you look at, that's why I brought in, I was not made to complete my sentence. When you talk about the NSUI and the Youth Congress elections, it was done at a very large scale. And if this is going to succeed, I'm not trying to, say this in hyperbole, but I think every party will eventually follow it, because it's the true democratic system. Once this works in the 15 constituencies, the Congress party will very definitely take it up and ensure that it's implemented all across India, in every state and every constituency. And I think that's true reflection and representation of participatory democracy.